Hey, thanks for tuning in. This is Jovan with another video short, and this week has brought even more changes. So, like many of you, our kids are doing online learning, and we're 2 days into it. Now, this is how it was for us. I mean, we had to go buy some more supplies. We had to buy some places for the kids to sit. We bought a little fold-up desk. We bought some office chairs. We had one donated to us. Thank you so much. That was awesome. And we then had to buy I had to go buy printer cartridges because we had to print stuff off at home. I had to make sure we had all these supplies. They made these wonderful workstations, by the way. Anna's just been incredible. My wife's been incredible in making that. And so there was a lot of prep in advance to getting this ready. Our school graciously let us check out 2 Chromebooks. So our kids now, 2 of our kids have Chromebooks. I mean, there was a lot of planning and preparation that goes into this. And then the day of, like the night before, we get a bunch of emails, and then the morning we get a bunch of emails. Mind you, these teachers are doing this for the first time themselves. We're doing this for the first time as parents. And like my kids have 2 teachers apiece, and that's not even counting the specials and the art teacher. I mean, so there's like 6, 7, 8 emails, and we're trying to navigate all the logins for all of the apps that they have, like Raz Kids and Pearson and others. I mean, it just goes on and on. And so we're trying to navigate all that and get them set up. I'll tell you, the first day, yesterday, we were 2 for 3. I mean, 2 of the kids just excelled. They did very well with their assignments, but we needed to give a little bit more attention to the third child. It's really not any my wife's fault. It's probably mostly mine. It's she's doing probably 80% of the work. I'm doing 20, but I did have to step in and help out. And then on top of that, right, you guys are managing maybe parents that either live at home or you're concerned about. You guys are managing maybe being out of work, so you're managing filing for unemployment. You're looking for other jobs that maybe are quote unquote essential or with the latest prohibitive measures for physical distancing and sheltering at home. They're sheltering in place. You're online. You're looking for all the ways you can receive help, or you're working from home. So you got projects due, and you've got meetings, and you're making sales calls, or there's just a lot, and it feels like we're just busy. And I think in the busyness of all of that, there's benefits that we're close to family, we're doing things, but there's one way of just where you're being busy with the work and time passes by and you might say, wow, it went by so fast today because there was much to do. But in your business, know that that's not the goal of life, is just to be busy with all of this and with these challenges. But there is a better way. And it reminds me of the story of Mary and Martha, where maybe you've been there before, where you've been busy doing things, getting the house ready for company to come over, or getting your kids ready for school, and there's a lot of preparation, there's a lot that goes on for doing that, but maybe you're a little bit upset because somebody else you feel like isn't helping out with what you feel like you're doing is the most essential thing. Cooking the meal, setting the table, getting the house ready. You would love and appreciate someone to be involved with what you're doing. And lots of times we feel like what we're doing is the most important thing to do at the time, but let's not forget some of the most essential matters. That in our day, we need to be very, very intentional about going to the one who is our life and strength and hope, and who is our peace and calm and our wisdom, who is our salvation. We want to choose that as the best, the better way. So here's the story. It's from Luke chapter 10. And the Word of God says that as Jesus and his disciples were on their way, he came to a village where a woman named Martha opened her home to him. She had a sister called Mary who sat at the Lord's feet listening to what he said. But Martha was distracted by all the preparations that had to be made. She came to him and asked, "Lord, don't you care that my sister has left me to do the work by myself? Tell her to help me." "Martha, Martha," the Lord answered, "you are worried and upset about many things, but few things are needed, or indeed only one. Mary has chosen what is better, and it will not be taken away from her." So we've been there before, being busy and maybe overlooking some of the most important things. Like, what would be a disservice, I guess, to our families and to our loved ones is that we become so task-oriented and maybe choose busyness over presence and intentionality with the people that we love the most, that we might get through the day. And it might be pretty crummy, but at least we finished some things. It might have ruined some of our relationships, but at least we got through the day with some of these tasks completed. We might envy somebody else because maybe they didn't put up as much into the process or carry their weight, so to speak, as much as we would like for them to have done. It may have been a spouse or a friend. We might measure our busyness against somebody else's busyness on social media and how they were successful in teaching their kids or navigating all these challenges of the COVID-19 epidemic and all the ways that it's just affecting our country and our communities and us personally. We may, in all the busyness, to be prepared, to be clean, to wash our hands, to practice good physical distancing, to abide by our national and our local authorities' restrictions on this or recommendations on this, to be safe. The busyness of being safe and the busyness of this security for us. And we might be leaving out some of the most essential things, like how to use this time to build more fruitful relationships. And I think that's what the Lord would have us to do. And starting first with his relationship. Because Jesus tells Martha that Mary hasn't chosen what was better. It doesn't say that what Martha is doing is not important. I think we overread or read much into the text when we say that Martha and what she's doing is not important. She's practicing good hospitality, which is something that we should all be able to practice. But right now, who can we be hospitable to? Well, first and foremost, we need to be hospitable to Jesus in sitting at his feet and allowing him to guide our steps and allowing him to give us strength. We should be first and foremost hospitable to Jesus because Jesus is wanting to serve us in a way where we understand that he is the better path to serving others. And then we want to be hospitable to our families. We want to be hospitable to the people that we love the most. And so in this very challenging time, we're going to be at each other's necks. We just are. But remember whose feet we need to sit at. Because Jesus is the better way. And whenever you choose Jesus, even when all your restrictions or all of your movements are restricted, know that Jesus is not restrictive, but he's inclusive of you, and he will not be taken away. You cannot restrict Jesus. So be intentional. Tomorrow and the next day, give yourself some grace, will you? Give yourself some grace, just as Jesus gave Martha. And he does the same for you. And he tells you that there's one that's better. Choose to sit at his feet, will you? All right, that's all I got for you today. I encourage you to be well, do good, serve with love, and lead with courage.